There has been a lot of talk in the news recently about passports. And of course, it's about COVID passports or COVID certifications if you wish to travel. That's how it started. And then, of course, they're now saying, do we need it to get into big events? Do we need to get a COVID passport or certification to go into a restaurant or, well, whatever. So it's a big topic at the moment. And that got me thinking of my own passport. Well, this is my passport that was out of date just last year or so. And you can tell it's out of date because the corners are cut off front and back. But I just thought, why do we need passports? What are they for? Well, first and foremost, it's identification, isn't it? Your picture's on it with your date of birth and everything. And so people know who you are. And also your nationality. And of course, it's the United Kingdom and Great Britain and Northern Ireland passport. Yeah, so that's what it is. Years ago, the big thing when you went abroad, because it wasn't, not a lot of people could go abroad in early years, was that if you went abroad and you got to the airport or the port for the boats and things, you got a stamp on your passport. And I must admit, I always liked getting a stamp on my passport. So I'm looking at my passport, this one that was out of date as of last year, and I've got, this is Malawi. So on that page, date of entry, date of exit, and of course the visa that you have to have. The next one is, where's that? That's Nepal. Again, the visa, date of entry and date of exit. This one here is Japan. Again, date of entry, date of exit. That one there is LAX International. Yep, so that's Los Angeles. And the next one, I think it's the very next page. Yep, that's Israel. When I was in Israel, got a stamp there. Then another visa. That one's for China. And date of entry and date of exit again. Just one more, I think. Yeah, right. And the back one is Russia. Entry and exit to Russia. So, yeah, these are some of the stamps that I got on my passport. And it's lovely, isn't it? It's memories, where we went, what we did, and who we were with. And yeah, I do like looking back and seeing those stamps. Also in the passport is your photograph. But I'm not letting you see that because passport photographs are never good. So that's my passport. And of course, as minister, I'm asked quite often to sign passports to say that this is I certify that this is a true likeness of ... And I've signed many, many of them in my time. So of course, the reason I'm mentioning passport is because it's been in the news. And will we need to have a COVID passport, COVID certification to travel abroad? My own opinion on that one, yeah, I think we should have one because other countries may demand it. But more so, I would want other countries to give their people COVID passports or certifications before they come into our country. That's just my own personal opinion, but there will be so many opinions on that. And of course, that's just for travel. There is talk that you might need it, as I said, for going into large events here at home, for maybe going into, I don't really see it for going into restaurants and things like that, because it's just be totally impractical, I think. But for travelling, for me, it's a big thing, because I think we did import a lot of virus and different strains of virus last year during the summer holidays. And that could have been avoided, but if we'd stopped the travel. But that's just my own opinion, and you will have your opinion. And that's how, in this society, we come to decisions. Things are looked at, and research is done, different areas are interviewed, and people give their opinions, and then a final decision is making. And I'm really glad it's not me that makes these decisions. So is a COVID passport or certification a good idea or a bad idea? Well, you've heard, I think it's a good idea for travel. Is it discriminatory? Yeah, it probably is, because what happens if you haven't had both your passports? What happens if you can't get a COVID vaccine because of a health reason? If it's just because you don't want to, I don't know if that's a good enough answer, because it's not just about you personally anymore. This is a global pandemic. It's the whole world. So we can't really just think of me at this stage. We really do have to consider the bigger picture in all of this. But again, that's my view, and you will have your view on it also. When I've travelled, foreign travels, which I've done a lot over the years, I've had hepatitis vaccines, cholera, I've had malaria tablets to take, the rabies vaccine. Now, the thing with these is that they were my choice. I didn't have to get them to travel to these areas. It was advised so that if I caught anything, then I would be protected to some degree. So I had the free will choice to do that. So I took the decision to get those vaccines because I didn't want to catch anything, any diseases that we don't normally have in this country. So that was my choice. I made that. The one thing I really didn't have much of a choice in was this vaccine. There you go. If you haven't seen a yellow fever passport certification, this is it. So I got the yellow fever when I was travelling to Africa. And what I would say about the yellow fever one is, if I decided not to get it, because I had the choice of to get it or not, if I decided not to get it, then I couldn't have went to that particular country. And that would have been my choice. And I would just have to accept that if you go to these countries, you must have this passport, this yellow fever passport. And if I don't have it, well, I can't go. It's as simple as that. No debate on it. What I would say to you is, it was my choice, though, to take the yellow fever vaccine because I wanted to go to that country. It was a free will choice. I made the decision to take it. Informative, it's got my name, passport number on the front. Inside, it's got my name, all my details there. It was a yellow fever, the make of the vaccine, the date I got it, and when it was valid from and when it expires. So I'm yellow fever proofed from the 25th of March 2016, and it finishes on the 14th of March 2026. So it's just slightly under 10 years you get it for. So that was my yellow fever. The reason I'm mentioning that to you is because on the page after, I never noticed it. It says exemption from vaccination. So it means that if you have to go to one of these countries that require this, and for coming back to us, if you have that exemption filled in by your health professional, then you don't have to get it. Could we have something like that for the COVID as well? Food for thought, isn't it? So the arguments will now continue to rage quite considerably over this COVID passport certification, because so many people will have views on it, and all for different reasons. But that's the joy of this country. We can debate these things. We can look at them from all the different avenues and the different ways, and yeah, we'll come to a decision. And as I said, I'm glad it's not me. When we were told in March last year that the church buildings had to close for public worship, well, how did that make me feel, being told I had to do something that I didn't want to do? Well, I was okay about it. I really wasn't too perturbed. I was sad, of course, but I certainly didn't want to put any of our church members or people in the community more at risk of catching the COVID virus, the coronavirus, than necessary. So I had no hesitation in closing the building at all. I know that some clergy people have taken the Scottish Government to court, saying it's unlawful for the church buildings to be forced to close, and they won their case. However, I'm probably not in agreement with them, because The Scottish Government made that decision for the right reasons at the right time. And I'm really thankful that they took these decisions, because we just don't know what would have happened if everything else shut down and the church buildings were allowed to remain open. I'd have said that was discrimination. But I was happy to go along with what we were, in fact, what we were told to do at that time. What about, well, I'm going to show you something here. You often see me wear it in these videos, but my necklace with my cross on it. How would I feel if I was told that I wasn't allowed to wear that in public? Because it's something that I wear all the time. How would I feel if I was told I was not allowed to wear it in public? Because that's how some people are feeling about the vaccination, that they have to get it, or they'll need to get it before they can travel, or need this passport. I know it's not the same, but it's similar. And also, if I was told that I couldn't wear a dog collar in church or for funerals or something like that, how would I feel? Well, to be brutally honest with you, it wouldn't bother me. Not in any shape or form. Simply because these are symbols. The cross is a symbol. My dog collar, well, that's like a uniform for me that I wear to work. It doesn't make me who I am. My family, my friends, people who know me just generally in the community know that I am a woman of faith. I don't need the cross for them to see that. I don't need to wear my dog collar for them to know that I'm the minister. So if I was told for a good enough reason as to why I couldn't wear them, well, so be it. I really wouldn't be too perturbed about that. So is there anything that would affect you? Is there anything that you would think, oh, I'd be arguing that point, or I would feel my liberties were taken away from me, or I'm being discriminated against in that shape? In coming to a conclusion, what I would say to you is that, I don't need a passport to know who I am. Neither do my family or friends. They don't need a passport to know who I am. The one person who knows me inside out, knows every hair in my head, and knows all my thoughts, all my words, and all my actions is God. So we have to just try our very best to walk the line to help not only ourselves and our own family and friends, but we need to be helping the world that we're living in at this time, because this is, as I said, a global pandemic, and you have your own views on whatever it is about these passports that's going to be, or certifications that are coming up and being discussed. But just know this, God knows us, and we have to rely on God for everything in our lives, no matter what it is. So I wish you a very blessed week ahead, and just God bless to each and every one of you.